Hi, I'm David Wegener. Welcome to my chess channel. Today's date is the 26th of January 2018. Today I'll bring you a game from 27th of August 1980. Round 5, was it? No, it was round 4. Round 4, board 5. This was played in Christchurch, I believe, where I would be coming from Dunedin to play in the tournament for the South Island Chess Championships. The South Island Chess Championships are the south part of New Zealand, and we have primarily the two major islands, which are the North Island and the South Island. So this is the championships for back then. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. Now, chess, I just want to say, chess is not always exciting and lots of swashbuckling, piratey attacks and all that sort of thing going on, like I'd like to play it like. Sometimes it's maneuverable. I don't even want to say the word. Here we go. D4, knight f6, c4, e6. So David's playing quite normal moves here. And this is going into a Catalan. Now, it's all very well known what the opening's called, but it's another thing playing it properly. So I play this line. This is the line that I used to like playing as black against the Catalan, where it involves white playing queen a4 check, and I position my bishop on c6, which is theory. So here I do most things pretty well because I'm quite surprised or happy with my play in regards to I develop. Now I've developed all my 5 pieces, including my queen, and so I'm yet to castle, and white has castled, of course, so I have now castled. I will now hopefully castle, but I don't. See, I just said something and now I'm breaking all the rules I've just said. Now I'm playing e5. Now castle, now this looks like a big mistake. I will show you. Doesn't white just play d5 and win the bishop on c6? Is your question. No comes the answer, because if d5, I was able to ascertain that knight here, and I attack the queen, and then thereafter can move the bishop back to here. Okay, so just practical part of it there. So I've castled, so I've now almost completed my development, although effectively I haven't, because I haven't got a rook on a half open or open file. So here we go with the main line now, back to the main game. Rook e1. So the time control in this game, by the way, is 40 and 2 hours each. So you got 40 moves in 2 hours, and thereafter, after 40 moves, you're into the 20 and 1 hour bracket, which has its advantages and disadvantages. Rook a d8. So here I've now officially completed my development, and here white has done also, because the rooks are connected. Both rooks from either side are both connected. Now if this move again, I'm not sure that I'm okay here. So if d5, I think I just lose a piece. I tell you why. d5. Oh, I think I'm just going to lose a piece here. I'm not. No, sorry. So it's quite combinative. So here the knight can be taken, of course. Now the bishop can't be taken because of the rook attacking the queen, and that reminds me of what Kasparov says about playing chess, is that when you're playing the game of chess, your intuition is working quite well, but when you're looking at it or analysing it, your intuition can go out the window. That's my words, of course, that I'm using, that he says basically that. Okay, so back to the main game, which is Queen C2. So now white would actually officially be threatening D5. So I have to make a square for my knight, or my bishop on C6, I mean this bishop here on C6. I have to make a square for my knight. Let's get the mouse off the playing field. And sorry, sometimes it is on the playing field. I have to make a square for my bishop on C6. So if D5, I can just move back to D7. So this knight comes into play on the king side. So it's manoeuvred from the queen side to the king side. Now I just move my bishop back, and like I would probably feel quite comfortable here in this position. B6 happens. Now white has operations here, and it's not, like I said, a tactical favourite game of mine, but it's still rather instructional. I do not say that if you put these moves on the computer you'll find I played really well or whatever, but I'm happy with my play. Now here is David being tactical. Now obviously if knight takes here, then b5 picks up a piece. But notice the tightness of white's game, of how white plays this game. Queen back to d1, b5. So I solidify my pawn on e5 by capturing with the pawn on d6. Queen d3. Now I have to defend, that's a bit sad. Now I'm threatening, just obviously, knight takes pawn check. So white could play king to h2 or similar, or even h4 here, because if I go knight h3 check, and it's good for you to see these in your head, after h4, if I go knight h3 check, the king can move to h2 and attack the knight on h3 of mine twice with the bishop and the king, and thereby lift the knight shortly thereafter, even though black can get compensation for it. So anyway, bishop g5, queen g5. I'm not actually threatening anything, but we do have a wee short repetition between us both. Wants to swap queens off, but now comes h4. Queen d8, knight b4, knight back to e7, sort of protecting the pawn, the knight to c6 thing, but it's not exactly really the sort of position I like for black. Rook c3, queen b6, queen e3, asking me to swap off again. So I didn't want to swap off queens. I don't know, maybe I think queens off are no good, but I don't mind swapping off rooks. f5, yay, yay, my move. It's not my move, of course, but it's my signature move in the French. Rook c8, rook c8. Look, I'm quite happy about swapping off these rooks. Wow, the first tactical shot of the whole game. So let's just have a look what happens if white captures this. I would probably play this, and that would force something like this, this. So I've taken this pawn now, and if white wants to protect the square here, I can get a little bit of an overload here or something similar. Can you see what I could play here for black, that I can see some overloading here in white's camp? As I can play a knight check here. Now the queen cannot take here because of rook c1, etc. So knight f3 would be a possibility, and I probably saw that back then. Now what say the king goes up to g2? I hope I haven't damaged the score of this. Can I go here? No, I can't. Mainly because white can capture my rook with check, and then otherwise if white couldn't do that, let's say white had to play someone else. Let's just play a real bogus move here. I have to do it here now. I didn't know that. Let's take this with check. Just be fun. Check. This is just for fun. And so I'd be winning that, of course. But I've just played f4. So that excited me back then. We've got rook c8 here, happened in the game back then in 1980. Bishop c8, allowing white to take the pawn on b5, which I believe is a slight mistake, especially that they missed the next wee little coup de grace. They here blunder a piece. Fg3, why is that a blunder? I will wait a couple of seconds for you to consider why is this a blunder. I've already said it loses a piece. Can you see the move? And then I will show you the move that white missed was queen b6 check. So I've turned this positional struggle into a kind of a more tactical sort of situation. Now it would be very sad for black to take queen now on f2 with check, because then white would be winning. I take the bishop. Queen a7, look at this. This is coming in to have a look at my queen side and looking at my knight on e7 particularly, and I've still got the mouse on the playing field. Bishop h3 now. Obviously, if queen takes knight here, what happens? So we'll go back, we'll cancel, we'll go back. What happens if queen takes knight? What did I prepare for my opponent? If my opponent played queen takes knight, which I would consider a blunder, what did I see a little bit into the position that my opponent did too, by the way? So what did I see? The following moves. Queen takes knight is a big mistake because I can go queen to f1 check, protected by my bishop on h3, and then after king h2 only move because the queen's nowhere there protecting its royal highness. Queen g2 is checkmate. Okay, anything else would lose or equal again. So I go bishop h3, my opponent goes queen f2. Now of course I can't play this queen check because I just lose a piece from the fray. It's just a check now, it's not a checkmate. Next move, queen c4, just trying to focus on this pawn here and maybe focus on this check here, because I am actually a piece up, of course. So white plays king h2, bishop g4, just drop the bishop back, and it could have a station there forever now. I play queen e2 and bishop f3, forces queen swap in black's favour, even though they're a piece up. This makes it quicker, the win. So final moves, which these probably should be the slowest moves of the whole game, because you can really throw a position that's won away very easy in the end because of overconfidence and because of thinking about why doesn't he resign, instead of thinking I have to keep concentrating on how to win this game. And here my opponent resigned, and the move, the time of the move, there's the score sheet. Okay, there's the score sheet. And so that was 56 moves is e4, my last move. My opponent resigned. And so that was quite a cool struggle, I thought. And so it's positional-ish sort of chess, even though it ends up kind of a bit tactical at the end. Thank you very much. I hope that helps your chess. It's a session, of course, that I'm doing here. I don't necessarily call it coaching or anything, because that might distinguish some sort of like idea in one's mind that your chess will improve. It's just, I like to call it now chess sessions. Thank you very much. See you next time on The Muppet Show.